Your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
And good morning, everyone. Mr. Carey has the day off. He's somewhere in Wisconsin. I suspect, Adam, he may be eating cheese right about now.
That seems to be the common thing when you go to Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. It is the cheese state.
They've got some great cheese there, but you know, we're not gonna dwell on cheese too much today. We're gonna talk about what's going on in your world and in your garden, and as is the case most Saturdays, we're gonna start that off anyway with the weather, and there are a few chances for some showers this morning. You know, we saw that develop and then dwindle away yesterday, so don't get your hopes up. We'll just see what happens today. Of course, it's Saturday the 17th of August. The month is getting by quickly. 92 degrees for the high today, 71 for the overnight low. And it's, really mild for August temperatures. We'll gladly accept it. Maybe we'll get some rain before this little bit gets through. 88-67 tomorrow, 85-63 on Monday. Tuesday, 81-58. Can you believe that? That is pretty amazing. 82-60 on Wednesday. Thursday, 86-67. So, you know, it's a wonderful looking forecast for the foreseeable future here. And if I can get the radar to come up here, it's being try the right tab. That'll help. You see, we've got some precipitation that looks a little promising back out there to the west, so we'll see what happens. Maybe it gets here in a bit. Maybe it doesn't, but regardless, it won't be a big deal. But you know what? A couple of tenths of an inch of rain would be beneficial at this stage. It's a bit dry, and if we look at the weather data, we've got another dry week has gone by. We've got 1900s for the month. We have not added to our totals. We're still just shy of 35 inches for the year. And currently it's 73 degrees here in the Music City. And we're really glad to have everyone here live from the green room today. As always, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m., we've got Adam Chapman right here sitting in for Josh today. Adam, always glad to have you a part of our little soiree here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here, sir.
And of course, it's not confined to simply Adam and myself. We have the entire cast on board today. Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen, welcome in, guys. Glad to see you this morning.
Good morning. What's so funny, Caroline?
Right behind
and
a flower.
We've got Tyler Blankenship across the way, and there he is.
Tyler Cam.
That's right.
He's here live today.
Always live.
Our status
Fresh.
is questionable, but his is not. He's live. So there we go. She's arranging plans, trying to get them out of her face. I think so.
You're good.
But,
Perfect. Now we can
now
see.
I'm framed.
Uh-huh.
I know everyone was concerned about
all right,
it.
guys. So another gardening week in the books here, pretty much, and it's been a nice little break in the weather. We don't really expect that for this time of year.
No, well, the Tuesday forecast is looking really great for myself because my day off is Wednesday, and I've got a nice fire pit at the house. That Tuesday night forecast, gonna be a fire in that fire
Light
pit.
one up.
Fire night.
Okay.
That sounds fantastic. You're ready for fall.
Oh, I'm always ready for fall.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, you know,
Favorite time of year, baby.
I think it's as gardeners, it's the time of year that we all feel especially fond of. I mean, from the professional side, from all of us here, when you work through spring, you don't get to enjoy it like people do who are actually not working through the spring. In the fall time, the pace is a little more relaxed, so it gives us the opportunity to enjoy this transition into fall weather, and it would appear that conditions are such that we are going to have the prospects for an early fall developing, which is a good thing all the way around. I mean, I don't think anyone would really be against that in any way, particularly if we get a little rain to go with it.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yep.
That's what's on my mind is we are dry right now, y'all.
Yeah.
Grass is like brown. And plants are kind of wilting. Like,
my
it
plants
is
looked
dry.
sad when I got home. My Ito peonies were all droopy. I had to water them. And I never water them.
Yeah, over the past like 3 days, I've had multiple customers come in and show me stuff, and I'm just like, it's like, especially their lawn. Like a lot of like cool season grasses are just like, nah, I'm done. Don't have water. It's hot. It's August, and they're just shutting down.
Yeah. That's their defense mechanism, is dormancy.
Yeah, they're not dead. They're dormant.
I think it's worth taking a minute to talk about how to water correctly. You know, it's one of those greatest things in gardening where people really don't understand what watering is all about. And watering is not a frequency thing so much as it is a duration thing. And particularly when you're in dry conditions and the plants are needing water at depth. So a frequent daily watering doesn't really do anything because you just re-wet the top half inch or less of soil every day. What you want to do is, if it's only weekly, which is probably for established plants plenty sufficient, do deep soak. Maybe you set a sprinkler up and put it on the timer and let it run for an hour or more. Or maybe you hand water, which is a great meditative form, I contend, to be able to stand there and go back and forth between a few plants and allow the water to soak in.
Yep.
I mean, when I think about it, it's like I don't think people really realize, like, when you get just even a 1 gallon pot, like, Caroline, hold up that 1 gallon right there, like that pot, right, like that much is below the ground. So you got to think, like, that much is where water needs to be, like all the way down that one. And like a lot of times you're not just planting a little 1 gallon, you're planting a 3, a 5, a 10, whatever. So that much of the root ball is below the ground. So that much needs to be saturated around that root zone. Yes, Caroline, I'm using hand gestures because it's helpful.
Saturate that water.
So, like, you got to remember that. And like David said, if you just water a little bit every day, you're getting the top inch or two, you know?
And that's probably okay for maintaining, like David was saying. So once a week, you want to really soak stuff. And then, then the other 1 or 2 times you water, you can kind of give them a little bit. That's what I do. I water really deeply once a week, and then through the week, because you got container stuff that needs water almost every day.
Yeah.
So,
And this is where people who have irrigation systems sometimes are at a disadvantage. Irrigation systems are great when you're on vacation, but for the most part, irrigation systems are that top watering mechanism. They just re-wet the top over and over and over again. And to do a deep soaking, you have to do something that's more specific per location, and to be able to give it a deeper soaking, it takes more time.
And that encourages the roots to go deeper too.
Exactly.
That's what happens. So.
That's the point. Like, you can keep something alive with an irrigation system just by keeping it up on top. You can keep stuff going. But like Adam just said, like, if you get that water down and deep, like, those roots will seek it, and then you don't have to water near as much. Like, once they start tapping in and getting their own water from deeper and down below, like, you're done pretty much. Like, you've done your good work. Right?
That's right.
Right.
I know. I soak my stuff for like 30 minutes once a week, sometimes hours because I forget.
Questions out there in the gardening universe that people are not even thinking about water. They're thinking about other things. So what you got, Caroline?
Oh, so many. You know what? We're going to start with more of a comment rather than a question.
Okay.
My crossvine bloomed again and attracted hummingbirds. Thank you for the recommendation. You're welcome. I love crossvine.
Yep, it's legit.
It is legit. It's great.
It's so great. Is that what you want me to say? It's so great. I love crossvine
That's
too.
exactly what I wanted to hear.
It's still not better than clematis, but it is a good plant.
It is. Yeah, it is.
There's Adam. He's here.
So much better.
It's a great native plant. We don't necessarily sell a native cultivar, but you can find it growing out in the woodland area. So it's great.
Well, the one caveat I'll give about clematis is and Austin will mention this later, but is the sweet autumn clematis. It's that it's pretty close to crossvine in my opinion, because it's just such a vigorous grower and an awesome time to bloom too. Like
When a lot of things aren't.
yeah, exactly. So
Now, the only downside to that particular cultivar is that it is such an aggressive grower that if it's not planted in the right location, it can become
sure.
invasive.
sure.
Yeah.
So
It does
it's
escape.
one of those things that needs to be thought about. Where are you planting it, and where can it possibly grow into? Because it can need some controlling.
It is so pretty, though. I saw some in Salem when I was there last year, going wild. And I loved it. But let's talk about clematis a little bit. We do have a question on it. Are clematis hard to transplant, assuming early spring would be the best time to try?
I mean, I don't know. I guess early spring's okay.
Late winter.
Yeah,
late
I'm
winter.
more of a winter kind of. We always talk about this. I mean, during dormancy, when there's no leaves, is kind of the least stressful on the plant anyway. And yeah, I mean, clematis is a fairly hardy plant, depending on the cultivar. It kind of depends. Clematis is that hit or miss kind of plant. Like, if you put it in the right spot, it's great. If you don't, it's kind of struggly, bussy.
Are you listening to yourself right now? You're not making. You're not making
know,
a good case
Adam.
for clematis.
Look, the clematis that I grow is the GOAT, okay? It's the
Jackman.
best Jackmania.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. That's the GOAT. But there are cultivars out there that I have seen that, like, aren't as strong, okay?
All the ones that I plant, you remember when I planted one like 2 months ago? I think it's dead.
Yeah, I probably told you not to plant it, and you didn't listen, and now you got what you got.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, I think I
don't
did.
think so.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, clematis, do it in the wintertime. Just, cut it halfway back or something. Give you some sticks to kind of, or some old vines to kind of hold on to. And then, get as much root as you can. Get it to its new home. Water it in. Should be good.
Should be good to go. I do love clematis. They are real pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you love crossvine?
I think crossvine's a good plant. Do I necessarily love
Thank
it?
you.
No. But it is a good plant, okay? I'll give you that.
It is. All right, let's talk roses. My roses, the canes are stringy, tall, and with blooms. I use fish fertilizer every month. Help. I guess she's got a leggy rose.
Just
Man.
need to get those. Well, probably should have got the pruners out. What, 3 weeks ago?
Earlier, yeah. Probably so, because you've gotten a little leggy. But you've got blooms. So it's like, you want to leave the blooms. Like a rose that's blooming is what we want. That's the whole point. But you do have stringy, tall, leggy roses. Okay, so I'm sorry. Look, let it bloom. Let it do its thing. Let it finish and do its show. And then after that, let's cut it back, maybe in half. Because a rose will still shoot new shoots, even if you prune it down. So we got to cut the leg out. We've talked about it before. Cut the leg out.
Love to talk about cutting the leg out.
Yep. But let it finish. Let it finish blooming.
And then when's the best time to go ahead and prune it? Did you already say
Right
that?
after it blooms.
Right after
like
it blooms.
right when it's done, right when the show stops, you cut it. Cut it right in half.
Wow, the show is over.
Yeah.
That's the curtain right there.
But then there's going to be a new show in the fall. It's going to be great because you're going to cut it back. You're going to cut the leg out, and then we're going to have new growth and new blooms in the fall.
There's probably still time for it to flush enough to
I bet there's
set buds again. Yeah.
I bet there's one more flush for you, but you got to do it.
So, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
My Carefree Wonder Rose is going insane right now because I finally fertilized it.
Nice.
I didn't fertilize it ever. And I looked at it yesterday, and it's got this like really healthy shoot just coming almost out of the ground. I'm very excited to see that.
Cool.
Y'all, roses are very heavy feeders. Heavy. They need that fertilizer. They really do.
Except for knockouts.
Yeah, knockouts don't need anything.
Knockouts will grow just on a rock. I mean, they probably won't, but
Oh man,
they'll
knockouts
almost
are
grow anyway.
really blooming right now around town. Like seems like every knockout I see is just full show.
Well, it's because I think it's because the temperatures have moderated some.
Especially those nighttime temps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some drift roses in East Nashville last night that looked amazing. Just drifting all over the place. Right, our next question comes from Miriam.
Hey Miriam, good
Hello,
morning.
Miriam.
Good morning, Miriam. Is adding coffee grounds and eggshells to flower beds really worth it? If so, for what flowers?
If you add a lot of them,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the thing.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing,
No,
Miriam.
no, it's
Never
not
a
gonna-
bad thing. So if you have extras, like, I mean, it never hurts to throw them in there. They're going to slowly kind of decompose and add to your soil structure, and that's good. That's a good thing. It never hurts. Organic matter is always a good thing. So it's not going to hurt. But is it really like changing something quickly? Not necessarily. It's a slow kind of process.
The calcium benefit that you would get from the eggshells probably is 6 months
Yep.
out, and that's only if you crush them up really good and get them on their way to being broken down really well. So it's not a bad thing, but it's like the lag time that you have if you were going to lime your soil, for instance. If you're using just a regular dolomitic lime, if you did it right now, you're doing it for next spring.
Right.
That's when you're going to get the benefit out of it. So it's that much of a delay in the breakdown of it, so that you really get that level of addition. So just know in your mind that it's always a big delay. Now the coffee grounds, to a much less extent, basically the biggest thing you get out of coffee grounds is just organic matter. It's good. It's not acidic. The acidic nature of it goes away once you brew coffee in it. It's perhaps mildly acidic, but it's very mild. It's pretty much just straight up, really particulate, fine, organic material.
You know what I think, Miriam? Yeah,
What?
I think you need to, instead of just putting those things straight into your flower beds, start a compost pile. Throw them into your compost pile and work that through the season and let that get all good. And then in the spring, you can add that organic matter right to your flower bed. That's why, you don't have to look at eggshells in your flower bed. It looks like
Nobody wants to look at that.
It kind of looks dirty. Like, I don't like that.
Don't eggshells cut up slugs? Isn't that something that people use? Cut up eggshells? I've never done it, but that
Maybe.
just can't. Okay.
I don't know.
Perhaps they do.
I think they would, I guess, if you crushed them up small enough.
Yeah,
Slice up those little bodies.
Well, they would have to be a similar consistency to salt. So yeah.
Okay.
And salt's not good for your compost.
No.
No.
Start a
Just
compost
being-
pile, Miriam.
Just do it, Miriam.
Miriam, love you.
Good morning, Miriam. All right. We got a comment from Joyce on the Facebook page.
Hey, Joyce, I just saw you the other day.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, she was out.
Nice.
What'd
She
she
was
get?
here. Joyce, what did you get?
Let's see. Let's
I remember.
test
I do
Austin's
remember.
memory right now.
She got a Japanese maple, and she got a lot of earth mix. We piled it. Me and Mac, our bag loader. Love you, Mac. You're great. We loaded bags. We loaded the maple. She got something
And sent her
else.
on
She
her
got
way.
3 of something else, and I can't remember what it is. It's okay. What's
It's
okay.
okay,
up, Joyce?
Let's get to Joyce's comment. Joyce says, I transplanted some Joe Pye weed 2 days ago and watered well. It hasn't missed a beat. The bees are happy, and I created a spot for the deciduous azalea I bought this week.
There you go.
That was
It
it.
is.
The deciduous azalea.
Oh, deciduous azalea. I got to
Joyce.
plant 3 that I have in pots still.
You know what?
They're great.
Ah,
That's a great plant.
Just can't get enough of deciduous azalea. They're great. Mine's beautiful right now. I haven't watered it all year. Like it's
Once those
it's
are
cool.
latched in, they seem to be pretty good. And yours
Yeah.
is in full sun, isn't it?
full sun. Oh yeah, full like
What?
afternoon sun. It does get morning sun. But y'all know my house is different. All the water comes down.
You've got a different house.
It just everything stays moist at my house.
You live in a bog.
kind of. I mean, down at the bottom. I don't live in a bog. But
Well,
it's
you agreed with me.
no.
It's a prick bog area.
Yeah. It's just that all the runoff all comes down. So like I don't have to water near as much. I'm very lucky. I'm a lucky
are.
gardener. I don't have to water. But
It's a dry creek bottom.
Yes, the deciduous azalea, you got that. I remember now. And a lot of earth mix. She got supernatural and she got some enlightened. That's what it was. She got enlightened.
Gotcha.
I don't know what she was using it for, but she got it.
Probably something cool that she'll tell us about it. But good job, Joyce, taking those plants home and planting them.
Yeah.
I know
and
some of us in this room
are
tend
bad
to
at
buy
that.
stuff and then not plant them.
Very bad at that.
But
yes.
it's so easy to just leave them in the pot and just water them every day.
Yeah,
true.
It's so easy.
Whew.
Let them dry out.
Not easy to water them every day. Oof, I'm bad about that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
we all have a lot of
One
plants.
thing that does make things a bit easier is the things you're using when you're planting. And it doesn't matter whether it's in a container or whether it's in the ground. We've already had some composting talk this morning. Perhaps you don't have a spot or you don't have the time to do it. Compost is still readily available that is of the finest quality. We're talking about Earth Mix Supernatural. The entire Earth Mix line of products, well, Adam, we've developed it here right in
Yes, sir.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
And we've done so with the mindset that we want it to be the most highly productive soils and amendments on the market. And, there's a lot of products that have the organic label on them, and that's all good. But organic doesn't mean a whole lot if plants don't grow and really thrive and do very well. And that's where the earth mix difference really comes in. We use only the finest inputs. There is nothing in earth mix garden products except all of the finest things that Mother Nature offers. So no matter what you're trying to grow, whether it's a vegetable garden in the spring or fall, if it's container growing things, if it is just adding to an area you already have, there is an earth mix product that is right for you. Earth mix landscape is just for that. It's for landscape areas. If you're talking about, we've already talked about enlighten briefly. So if you're looking to lighten your soil, make it more porous, it's a great choice for that because it's an expanded shale product. And also it's, if you use it as a top mulch, if you have issues with things like voles that are digging around hostas, it has these little sharp edges that the little paws just don't dig through it well. So it's a natural repellent. All these things are available at every earth mix retailer in the earth mix network, and we're very fortunate to have a great selection of those all over Middle Tennessee, Kentucky, and now also in Alabama, North Carolina, and even out in Montana. If you can get me over on the map there right quick, Tyler, it'll give us a little view of that for everyone. And you can either put your address, and there we go. Or let me see if I can get the screen up enough where people can see it. There we go. You can either put your address in the box right here, or you could just zoom in to a location nearest you. For instance, Victory Gardens Nursery, way out there in Meridian, Idaho. So quite a ways away. Or you might check out Gardens by Teresa B. Bryant over in North Carolina. So no matter where you go, it's the same quality earth mix products. Just remember this: success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use earth mix garden products. And we appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that and help take the work out of your gardening. And we want you to be successful, but we don't want you to have to work excessively so to make those good things happen. So give it a shot, check it out, and it's not available at anywhere but independent retailers. So check it out, Earth Mix. So thank you for giving us a moment to talk about that and to help you in your gardening efforts. So there you go.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. I just bought a bunch of earth mix last week.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to repot even more houseplants.
Of course. Well, I guess you have to. You need to I thought you were going to say transplant, but you said repot. Sorry.
Of course. Hey, speaking of Proganics Indoor Earth Mix, we got a question about repotting houseplants. Someone asked, how often should I be repotting and changing soil in indoor plants? I feel like it's not as often as you think. People think they have to change out the soil every year. That's not true at all. The roots really don't like to be disturbed. They like to fill into the pots. Just, I would say the majority of houseplants like to have their roots go all the way to the outside of the soil where the pot is, start to wrap a little bit. So I have houseplants that have been in the same pot for like 5 to 7 years, and some I transplant every like maybe 3 to 4. But you really don't have to do it that often, especially if you're watering correctly and fertilizing that plant. If you look at like bonsais that have been in the same pot for, 5,000 years, that hasn't been switched. So if you're taking care of your plant right, if you're fertilizing, you might have to water it more often, but you really don't have to change it out that often. Your plant will let you know. Usually they'll start to, for one, you'll have to water it a lot. Once that plant has grown into the pot and the roots are really bound up together, it'll just go through water, and then your plant will start to show signs of stress, especially if you've been taking care of it, if you've been fertilizing it, but then all of a sudden it starts to drop leaves or something like that's happening without pests being present. That's typically a sign that it's time to repot it.
I think it kind of depends on the plant too.
Yeah,
there's
it
some
definitely
plants that
does.
are super fine with being like really root bound. Mother-in-law tongue comes to mind.
Oh,
ZZ
yeah.
plant, like they're fine with being tight in that
Dracaena,
pot. Dracaena, yes, like
ficus.
smaller pots, yeah. Don't go up to a crazy big pot. Like that's a
Don't
big
do
problem.
that. That is the problem. People think like, oh, I've got this plant in a little 4-inch pot. When I say that, I'm talking about the diameter across the top. Like,
A little
oh,
bitty.
if I put it in a 10-inch pot, it's just going to get so big right away. It's not. You're probably going to kill it, or it's going to spend all of its energy trying to grow into that pot that you're never going to get growth up above. It's going to hold too much moisture, and it's probably going to rot. So we always
Adam,
suggest.
I'm just wondering, what does it sound like when roots rap? Is there did you hear the big low bass sound going down the highway?
I'd say it sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
And I hear that a lot because I'm surrounded by houseplants and potted plants and plants in the ground and annuals.
All of it.
And all the stuff that's blooming.
I know.
All over the place.
I'm just
I mean,
constantly
there's still not as much
thinking
blooming.
about it.
Thinking about what's in bloom, what is happening.
Tyler, where's the button?
In bloom.
Tyler fell
With
asleep.
Austin. No, I didn't.
Tyler's been napping over there.
That was
I'm a live
12-second
producer.
Segue.
Tyler is on delay today. I don't know if y'all know. He's
Hi.
he's
Tyler's
on a
great.
30-second delay. That's okay.
All right, what's blooming? Let's start with the shade stuff. So, Hosta. Hosta's in full bloom right now. Sun King Aurelia is great. It's not beautiful, but it's blooming. I know because I've got it, and I love that
You
plant.
love
It's
that
so
plant.
good. It is so good. Rudbeckia, Echinacea, I've been talking about this for like a month. I'm kind of tired of it. Agastache, it's in full bloom, and the bees are just living it up. Living it up. If you're a bee lover, a pollinator lover, and you're not growing agastache, you're doing something wrong, okay? Coreopsis, kind of weedy. I got it right in front of me, but it's beautiful. They've
You're
got
happy
a
about it,
bunch right now, looking great. We got phlox in the studio. Caroline did this whole set yesterday without me, and she brought in some phlox, and phlox is just great.
That one is neon.
It really is. Perennial hibiscus, dinner plate blooms as big as your face, still blooming, looking great. All right, panicle hydrangea still going. Pure white right now. They're starting to fade, just starting. They're going into that pink stage, which is what they do. Some of them are like really in that pink stage, but for the most part, your panicle hydrangeas are still in bloom.
Mine,
Hey,
of course.
Bridge, your grasses are still blooming, and you got like a million grasses. Y'all, if you need grasses, we've got them. Like a million billion.
Yep.
We've got them. Adam, you love Abelia. I know you do. It's in full show right now. Let's go to our trees. Crepe myrtle still in bloom, okay? Full show. Still full show. Like full show, okay? Not even thinking about fading yet. It's the longest blooming tree you can grow. Everybody should have a crepe myrtle, okay? At least one.
Mine's still not blooming.
Oh, my God. Your mimosas are, though.
Yes.
Your mimosa is still, some of them still in bloom.
I think it says more about you, Caroline, than it does about the
Stop
crepe
it,
myrtle.
Adam.
I mean, there's a common factor there. It's you.
Adam. All right, Rosa Sharon, it's still in bloom. That hibiscus syriacus still going, okay? There's a couple sun-loving annuals, your zinnias, your lantana still going off. Hey, your natives, once again, the natives, the list, milkweed, Joe Pieweed, goldenrod blooming yellow, ironweed blooming purple, and passion flower, the coolest bloom on the planet, still in bloom. Hey, a few new ones this week, though, like Adam mentioned earlier, sweet autumn clematis. That little vine.
Starting.
It's starting. It ain't full show, but it's starting. A lot of times people put it around their mailbox, and then it swallows the mailbox. But either way, it's blooming white, and it smells fantastic. Hey, one of the fall bloomers that we all think about is asters. Hey,
Is
they
it
just
happening?
started. Just started, okay? I'm going to be talking about this for probably a month, but they just started.
Get ready.
Tyler, throw me up a pic because I got a shout out to my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Tyler, is that the
Tiny
best we
picture.
got? There we go. Hey,
There we go.
perennial begonia.
Oh.
Look at that. JoJo and Patty
Really
out
awesome.
there in Chapmansboro doing their thing. Great gardeners, both of them. JoJo grows all the garden stuff, tomatoes, beans. Miss Patty does all of the ornamental stuff, and her bed is just beautiful. I got her everything in this bed, pretty much. Not everything, but a lot of things. And they came from Bates Nursery, okay? Perennial
Just
begonia.
look
That
at the
thing is
backside of
awesome.
Those leaves.
Oh, it's so good. And she's got it planted in a cool little shade bed around a
looks
Japanese
great.
maple. It's fantastic. Tyler, next pick, let's show her rose. Look at that. That's a white iceberg rose, y'all. And it is clean.
Wow.
Nice.
Very clean. And it is full bloom right now. Patty, God, you're doing good. I saw you last night. We had a fish fry. It was fantastic. JoJo fries that fish like y'all wouldn't believe. And then let's do the final pick of the day. The whole scene. Look at this.
Wow.
All of that. That panicle hydrangea you see came from here. That Japanese maple that's standing up tall came from here. We got the roses. We got hydrangeas leading down to a Japanese maple. All sorts of perennials in the bed. You can see Patty in the background a little bit with my daughter Marley. Shout out. You're doing great out there. Doing great. That's what's in bloom.
Wow.
Thank
Oh,
you.
we got one
Oh.
extra.
And then, hey,
Hey.
there's a crepe myrtle.
There is a crepe myrtle, and that crepe myrtle comes from Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Yep.
Great job with your
She
crepe
said,
myrtle. And
Red
then
dynamite crepe myrtle coming to an end of the
blooming. Crepe myrtle's been blooming for like a month.
We should do an experiment and then transplant it to somebody else's house.
No one else is getting that crepe
And
myrtle.
then it will
That
bloom.
is my crepe
It'll
myrtle.
bloom. I guarantee you it'll bloom.
What variety was it?
I don't know. It was a dead plant.
It was what do you mean it was a
Go
dead
back.
plant? It can't have been a dead plant and now it's an alive plant.
Somebody brought it back as a dead plant.
Oh, but it
Yeah.
wasn't really
That's
dead.
Really
I
dead.
kind of like to go back and look at that panicled hydrangea
Oh, certainly.
picture again, and showing it in the beauty. You know, there's all this argument about should you trim them, should you not, and if you could zoom in on this one, it really, to me, this depicts why you would want to leave them on. I guess for someone else that might look at it, and this is why you want to trim it. But I love this look. I think it is. I think it is spectacular. It's quite different from when it first comes out, but it is another one of the wonderful shades and hues that it turns. So I just think it's a wonderful attribute of the flowers once they go into that persistent phase, and they go through this rather elegant. And, and to be sure, when you're having drier conditions, it works better because the flowers don't tend to start rotting. If you were having a lot of rain, it does lend more to the case of trimming them off because they start looking ratty. But when you have a dry weather, that is spectacular.
Yeah.
This summer's been good for them because I've got a quick fire that I don't ever prune it ever, except unless there's some kind of little dead limb or something. And it does that every year. It'll turn pink.
That pinkish color. I'm pretty sure that one was strawberry shake.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think it is. That randomly enough came from our buck a gallon sale that I got. Yeah, it was like a little 3 gallon. I paid
That's
like
a great
$3
sale.
for that. Yeah, and she put it in, and it's just been a growing machine. Like that's what panicles do.
Yep.
That's what they do.
It's huge. It's like spread out so much.
And she hasn't pruned that one. That one was only put in, I think, 2 years ago was whenever that was put in. And then I just randomly forgot, David, shout out to your monkey grass video. Monkey grass is blooming.
Oh.
There you go.
I meant to put that on the list, and I forgot. Y'all, check out David's video. He mows monkey grass. It's sweet.
It's so good. I feel like we bring it up about once a month. So if you haven't seen it, get on YouTube and
That
watch
is
it.
a mid-February activity, by the way.
Yeah, don't do it now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't do it now.
Sorry.
Don't do it now.
It's in bloom
Unless you
right
got
now.
a wild
Enjoy it.
hair.
Blooming.
Yeah.
It's blooming.
Yep.
And looking real cool. Well, we got in a lot of live questions and comments on Facebook. So Pam says,
Cool.
waiting. Yes, very cool, Tyler.
No, I love it.
Pam says, waiting on some rain to plant some hydrangeas that have been in pots all summer. Fall is just around the corner.
Probably
Same.
smart, Pam.
Same, Pam.
Uh-huh.
I've got 3 deciduous azaleas that are just sitting and waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joyce says, I over-amended some of my garden. Uh-oh.
Joyce, you can't over
Joyce, I hope you're okay.
Joyce is great. She's always okay. I love Joyce. She's
Joyce is
really
great.
nice.
I will say this. I don't understand the concept about watering a plant on top of the ground and waiting for better conditions than the fall. It's a whole lot easier from my perspective to
Go ahead and plant it.
and get it in the ground, and it doesn't dry out so quickly that way. So that was a bit of a head scratcher to me. I don't know why you would want to wait. I mean, do not wait. I would go ahead and plant.
I think
Maybe
that's
the
a good
ground's
point.
A little softer when it. I mean, that's true, but you can always wet the ground where you're going to dig and make the digging easier. I would go ahead and plant. It's going to reap benefits down the road if you can get it in the ground.
Yeah,
Get
it's
it on
just
in there.
if you get it in the ground and you water it properly first, then yes, you're going to water way less a plant in the ground than you are a plant above the ground
Listen,
for sure.
some of us are using the excuse of waiting until the fall so we don't have to get out there in the heat and dig holes.
You know what?
So
That's a
y'all
good
stop
point.
calling us out.
Well,
Hey, I'm one of those people. I'm the same way.
well, you saw the forecast just a few minutes ago. It's going to be
Listen, I did
81.
plant some trees and shrubs 3 weeks ago in the heat because those were not happy.
Yeah, being annoying and thirsty every day when you come home.
Yeah, and I bought that in the winter, so I really didn't have an excuse for that one. Should have planted it. And then Kimberly says, I'm starting a fiddle leaf fig. What size pot should I use? How do you get it to look like a tree? So I'm assuming you mean you propagated one. So you're starting one really small. So depending on the size of the plant itself, I mean, you don't want to go much bigger than what the root ball, what the root size is. So I would say if it's a little prop from a bigger stem, it's probably going to be like a 4-inch pot or so. Not very big at all. And like we talked about earlier, let that grow into the pot all the way. So with it being a new little cutting, if that is in fact what it is, it'll probably grow pretty quickly once you get it in that soil. Keep it pretty moist until it latches in, and then they like to dry out between waterings. They don't like to sit wet. And the way to get it to look like a tree is you're going to want to strip off all of the lower leaves, let it grow up to a pretty decent height, kind of where you want it to branch out, and then you're going to want to prune it back so it starts to branch and flesh, and then you'll have a cute little fiddly fig tree.
Right, and that is called apical dominance. So whenever you prune the end of a stem, that end is sending hormones down to the buds below it, and when that is gone, those hormones are not there anymore, so it
goes out.
Shoots out.
I always describe it as traffic. There's a traffic jam, and people have to go somewhere else. Yeah, those cars have to go somewhere.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And also just time. You got to if you want it to look like a tree.
It's going to take a lot of time.
I know we get this question a lot with, like, say, crepe myrtle. People are like, how do I make it look like a tree? And it's like, well, first off, you got to get it to some sort of size. And then, you can play with it. But you got to get it growing, So if it is a little prop, what?
By your headphone cord.
The headphone cord.
Your headphone cord ripped it, Austin.
Oh, it's fine.
Anyway.
Grow your fiddly fig. Get it bigger.
Get it
and then
bigger.
we'll make it look like a tree.
Oh, Joyce says, got moles. My soil is too fluffy. So
Too fluffy. Oh,
Joyce.
that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. It
And
is.
then Donna says, love Sun King Aurelia. Have 2 in my yard.
Donna knows.
Yes.
Donna knows what's up.
Sun King Aurelias are great. I planted 2. Mine aren't growing that much, but
You're doing something wrong.
I'm doing everything right, actually. I'm doing great. All right, and then Sam says, or asks, what is a Southern live oak's chances in this area? I know y'all
not
sell
good.
them.
Not
Would
good.
love one in my front yard. When's the best time to plant one?
Here, never, in my opinion. 'Cause you're not going to get it to grow here.
But we sell them?
We have, there was one live oak variety that we tried to sell many years ago, and it didn't work. It's just too cold here in the winter.
It typically does, yes. I've literally observed one Southern live oak in Middle Tennessee, and it was on MTSU's campus. And it had been there for, gosh, what'd they tell me? Something like 20 years, but it was like dwarfed.
Yeah.
Really?
It suffered dieback, pretty bad every year, and it did not stay evergreen like we love about live oaks. That's the whole, they call them live oak because they stay leafed through the wintertime. This one didn't. Over the wintertime at MTSU, it would shed its leaves. And I don't know if it's still there or not. I haven't been back to MTSU in like a decade, but it was there. But that is literally the only live oak I've ever seen living in Middle Tennessee. So
I kind of want to take a little trip to see if it is, in fact, still there.
well, go on up. Give us a live report.
I will. I'll live stream it the entire
Live
time.
stream it, yeah.
Live stream it. And then Jessica asked, do you guys suggest a certain place to buy ladybugs from?
You bought ladybugs online.
I did, but they are not in business anymore.
Great.
So I don't have a place currently.
I don't either.
I don't know. I'm sure you could Google that and probably find
Sure,
something pretty
sure,
quick, right?
Sure.
But you'll want to get the right kind. It's tricky to find the non-native ladybugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry we don't have a better answer for you. I used to have a place that I used, but they don't have ladybugs anymore. All right, somebody asks, how to mulch flower beds to allow previous seeds to come back? Wait till bloom or in the cold? That's a great question.
Wait till bloom or in the cold?
Like, do it while the plants are up and blooming or do it while they're dormant? So I think they're talking about plants that probably drop seeds.
I think we probably don't want to add too much of a layer of mulch on top of seeds that have already dropped, probably. You really don't want that. You don't want to bury your seeds too. That's a very, very common thing that happens is you bury seeds too deeply and they won't germinate. So if you pile mulch on top of that during dormancy, I probably wouldn't do. You know what I would probably do is wait till they jump in the spring. Like, don't mulch at all. Let them grow in the spring and watch them germinate, which is always fun and great. Love that. And then after they're up a little bit, then mulch around them. That would be my way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think.
You could do a thin layer of mulch.
Yeah, but don't go
Very
deep.
thin. It'd
Very
have to be
thin.
very thin.
Yeah. That's what
You
I
know what
say.
you could do? There
What-
is
what
one
could
thing
you
to do. If you've got questions about all these questions like we're getting this morning, but you really want somebody to look at face to face, come out and see us at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. That's what we do every day, Monday through Saturday, this time of year. And we deal only with horticulture. That's all we do. We don't have a plumbing department. Well, technically we do, but we don't sell plumbing stuff.
Yeah, ask Adam.
We don't sell building supplies, although we have been known to build some things.
Uh-huh.
We don't have we're not paving contractors, but we've done some paving. All these things perhaps have some tie-in. The real deal at Bates Nursery and Garden Center is that we have been beautifying Nashville since 1932, and we've been bringing Nashville residents and Middle Tennessee folks the best of everything from a horticulture standpoint. Doesn't matter whether you're talking about trees or shrubs or ground covers or perennials or ornamental grasses or edible landscape plants or conifers or broadleaf or deciduous, shade plants, sun plants, topiaries. There's just all manner of things that are available in the marketplace, and you're going to find a selection second to none here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And we have done a lot of things this summer, actually over the last several summers. It's kind of the time when we work on our facilities, and we've been fortunate to be in business a lot of years. The downside of that is that everything continues to age, including
Yes.
the owner.
Yes.
We can't do much about that, but we can do something about our facilities. So we have done a lot of work on constructing connected facilities that give you the ability to shop in a more controlled environment during inclement times of year. We've greatly improved and increased our parking, and this summer we have completely repaved all of our shopping surfaces, and all that's in an attempt to really try to make our facility second to none anywhere, anywhere, not just in Nashville, anywhere. We really believe we have a very unique thing going on here. We invite you to come out and see us. Everything we sell, by the way, is available for search online. And speaking of online, our website has been just recently recently redone, and we've got a tremendous selection of all manner of things for your lawn, your landscape. You can check out my weekly blog that is right there, and from that point, you can get in there and you can look to see perhaps what we have plants wise, and it's really a significant improvement that visually all of our great mini plants, and I think this particular search right here brings about 1,500 different results. So you can scroll through page after page after page of all the different things we have, or better yet, come out and see us. And if you'd like to know more about the weekly goings on at Bates Nursery, well, I invite you to subscribe to my newsletter, and it's very easy to do. Just go on there and subscribe, and you'll get the first word on everything going on at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where right now, by the way, it's 25% off all plants, bagged earth mix garden products. So
Can't beat it.
no matter what earth mix garden product you want or which plant you want, and by the way, plants refers to anything that's growing. So it's everything from trees to tropicals to everything. So come check it out. It's a great opportunity to take advantage of this wonderfully mild, more seasonable weather conditions and get a head start on fall here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we're conveniently located 1 mile north of Bradley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike, which is just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West, downtown Nashville. And no matter where you're coming from, it's worth the drive. So we appreciate you thinking about it and coming out and seeing us. We're here from 9 until 4 o'clock, Monday through Saturday. Closed on Sundays until the fall season. That'll be here before you know it. So check us out. BatesNursery.com. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. And we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes to talk about that and to help you in your gardening quest, because we have the things to choose from.
Oh, we got so
can't even get it out.
We got so many trucks in. We got so many trucks in this week of new stuff, new stock all over the place, and it's still 25% off. 25% off is a great sale on if you need a lot of stuff, like, or just one thing. One Japanese maple with 25% off is great.
Houseplants.
Houseplants. You got so many new houseplants this week.
I put in a giant order.
Bridge got so many new perennials this week. If you need perennials are great to plant this time of year, y'all.
Look how good they look.
Let's talk about
them. You know what? Do it, Tyler. Hit the button.
In room with Caroline.
So, like Austin was saying, my gosh, we've been getting trucks in, and we have so many beautiful perennials in at the nursery right now. You can tell I couldn't go with a theme other than just a lot of perennials coming in. I mean, when they were coming off that truck, we had a couple different ones. I think this was Clifford's. Yeah. I have a little cart full of plants. I'm going to buy today.
Yeah, you do. You and like 5 other employees.
Yeah, and then not plant.
I'm going to take a picture of me planting them when I get home. Probably won't plant them when I get home.
Sure.
Get Derek to video you.
He would end up videoing his forehead. It wouldn't even work. So let's go ahead and take a little tour of just like the small amount of stuff, small sampling of what we have gotten in here at the nursery. Austin's favorite plant right behind my head. Austin, what is that?
Yuck.
It's yuck. Rudbeckia. So this is autumn sun. Look how tall this is.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And those seed heads.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
They're like little buttons.
Those birds are going to love them in the winter if you leave them up. Everybody needs this.
They're ready to scatter.
That's a goldfinch delight right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, they are. But the leaves, you can't see them, but the leaves down at the base of the plant are so healthy,
Can if I zoom
so
in on your
big.
face?
Well, no, that's not a leaf. I'm talking
No.
about down low, Tyler.
Oh, okay. Too
Down
slow.
at the base of the plant.
Yeah.
Listen, Tyler.
Sorry.
And then we've got Rain Dance, big blue stem right behind me. So we're all hoping for rain. There have been a lot of comments on Facebook and YouTube this morning about hoping for rain today. So you know what? Here's this grass, and maybe it'll make it happen.
I felt a few drops this morning. We got a trace.
My
this
car
morning.
had a mist.
Mine did too.
Mist on it, so it was okay.
It's okay.
And then, I mean, we've talked about grasses. We've got some fountain grass right under the TV that you can't really see because of all of the flowers. So let's go ahead and just.
There's this little seed head back there.
Oh, there they are. Look at them.
There they are.
My hand will be the wind, blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
Plant you a field with that and watch it blow in the wind. And we've got some more fountain grass in front right next to Austin and Adam. Wow. We've got a lot of that in at the nursery right now. And right between it, we've got switchgrass. I don't remember the kind of switchgrass I brought in this morning, but I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. Northwind, Austin's favorite, my favorite, but there's a lot of great ones out there. This one's a little bit smaller. Let's come on up to all the flowers we've got and the herbs. So we've got some thyme. This thyme that came in is huge. It is massive. That's one gallon pot right there.
What?
It's already spilling over. So if you want to put it in a container, it's going to give you this little Mediterranean or little French garden look. I mean, come on. And the prices with that 25% off that Austin was going on and on about. You need it. And then Coreopsis, well, that's a phlox. So we'll go ahead and talk about that phlox. That is Luminary Sunset Coral.
Ooh.
Y'all,
Fancy.
If you come out to the perennial area and we still have these, there's no way you can miss them. It is the brightest flower I think I've ever seen.
This is pretty vivid.
It
It's
is.
hard for the camera to capture.
It doesn't
is.
quite do it justice in the camera, but it's insane the color that it is. And then we've got some penstemon right down there, right there. So it's almost the same color on camera as that phlox
Oh.
that I was just talking about. But this one's a little bit different. I saw this and I was like, Bridget. And she said, I think you should give it a try because
Said,
I'm not
"I
sure
know,
how it'll
right?"
do. Yeah, she said, it's super cute and adorable. And then behind it, we've got Smoky Mountain Mint.
Man,
Oh,
this is
it's
incredible.
a mountain mint. It's got these like maroon new growth leaves that come out, and the smell in the studio right now. Austin's getting his hand in there so I can smell it.
Wow. That's a knock you down smell.
Did you smell it too hard?
Woo, too hard.
Austin's not okay.
I'm all right.
Are you okay?
That is minty.
And then behind it, we've got, look at these cute little flowers. This is another one that Bridget brought me over to, and she was like, you probably need this for your garden and the show. So this is Helenium. This is Fuego. That's the variety. But look, I mean,
Yeah.
cute.
It's cute.
It's tiny. You can't be mad at that, can
I'm not
you?
mad at that.
You can't be mad at that. And then we've got some Heliopsis right here, just looking like fall. Looking like little fall sunflowers, which is what they are. Nice little perennial sunflower look that you can add to your bed. And then let's go ahead and talk about our feature plant today. Tyler, get on up there.
I'm
Hard
getting
to
there.
see. So this is short-toothed mountain mint. If you look at the Bates Instagram and probably the Facebook page as well, we did a little feature on this. This is a perennial of the year that Bridget was telling us all about.
2025.
2025. Okay.
From the Perennial Plant Association.
So if you can see, it's a little bit hard to see with it being in front of the TV, but the new growth is almost silver. We're going to go ahead and tilt this. Oh, where's the camera? Oh,
There it is. That's silver for
Yes,
sure.
that is definitely silver. And then it's going to have these little, like, light pink blooms when it blooms. And let's have Austin smell this. Let's do a smell
Oh,
test with this
God.
one. We're going to put it in front of him.
Let me rub this leaf good. It's minty. It's not as minty as the first one. That one really got me. But that one is
So
still
you're not as
minty.
mad at that.
It's softer. It's a little better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm buying both of these mountain mints
Of course
today.
you are.
Those
Look
are
at that
two of
runner
the plants
on
I
it.
have in the cart.
That scares me a little.
Don't be scared.
No, look.
Don't,
This.
I know.
Oh,
I
it's,
know what you're saying.
Look at this, y'all.
Hey, it's ready to take over the studio right now.
Oh, and it's got little leaves that's like,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that scares me a
I
little.
know exactly where I'm going to put it.
It's going to make a stand, y'all. It's going to make a whole thing.
And it's going to smell amazing and attract pollinators and be beautiful.
Mine's planted in a border bed, and it filled it in right nice, and it hasn't spilled the border.
Right, nice.
But that's
Right,
what
nice.
we got in room this morning.
Great job, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
Huh? I didn't.
Good stuff.
I didn't help at all with this
No, you
yesterday.
didn't.
No, you did it all. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We were actually very busy yesterday.
We were busy.
Yes,
so
we
we were a little
And I was
short
able to
staffed.
sneak away to do the green room.
We got people on vacation. We got people that were off, and like me, Adam, and Owen held it down yesterday
We did.
because we had some people out here.
We did.
We
Yeah.
did. It was great.
good.
We got 25% off.
Talk about it again.
No, I'm not. Let's do another question.
Let's get into questions.
All
We've
right.
got a question about petunias.
Yes.
My petunias are spent. Replant or wait for pansy season?
Don't replant.
I think finding them to replant would be
Yeah,
very
that would be
tricky.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not going to find a tunia probably right now, but you're going to wait for pansy season, certainly, but don't delay. Cut those things back, y'all. Like, cut them close to the dirt. The pansy, I just did this 2 weeks ago with my pansies. They have reflushed new leaves. They have cracked new blooms. Yeah, they're smaller, but they're coming back great. Like, it's not time really for pansy season yet. So with petunias, like I said, literally with a lot of annuals, y'all, they get tired this time of year. Cut them back. And fertilize them. They will reflush and rebloom. Petunias are no different.
Yeah, you cut yours back a couple times, don't you? You cut them back right when you plant them, and then you give them a cut back. Weeks ago.
Right when I plant them, I top them. I top every single one. That way they branch. Like Adam was talking about, the apical dominance. Once I get rid of that, then they're going to branch new leaves and
Traffic patterns.
be a bigger bush. Yes, bush. I didn't know.
Yep.
But you know what I
It's a
mean.
shrub. It's a tunia
The
shrub.
petunias.
It's a tunia shrub.
Bushier shrub.
It's a shrub
Yes.
somewhere. It's a shrub somewhere.
There you go. You know, petunias are shrubs in Alaska. Petunias love Alaska.
Really?
Yep. Fun fact. There you go.
Wow. My coleus is a shrub. I took a picture of it, but then didn't send it to Tyler, so we'll get it up next week.
Great.
We do have a comment about live oaks on our YouTube page. So if we can't grow live oaks, what type of tree can we grow with a similar growth habit?
Willards.
Oak, water oak.
Yeah.
Willow oak would look a
Willow
lot
oak.
like it. And sawtooth oak would look like it too.
Sawtooth oak grows like a weed, man.
Yeah.
That's the fastest growing oak I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, even like northern red oak is that classic oak leaf. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's not one that has willow oak is probably the closest
Yeah.
when it
To
comes to
look.
the actual leaf shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. But willow oak can get really big. David, you know that. Talk about your willow oak in your backyard.
Oh, that's huge.
One planted by my dad about 60 years ago, and most people guess it to be 150 years old.
No.
So it looks It looks to be twice its age,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like me. Back to that.
Don't.
But it's a very good, fast growing in the oak world.
Yeah.
You know, comparatively, and it's in a premium spot where it's in deep topsoil and it's gotten maximum nutrition.
Mhm.
So it's done well, and it's grown quickly. And I don't know that if Adam, Austin, and I could join hands and
Oh,
reach
no.
around.
We
I
still
don't
couldn't
think
get our
so.
arms around it.
I think
No.
you should still try. We'll get
That
a
would be
photo.
funny.
It
I'm
would,
afraid, you know,
it would be.
We'll get a picture.
We will. You're making that promise right now.
I'm doing it. We're joining hands.
Soon?
Y'all get on board.
Y'all will join hands.
Uh-huh.
I don't guess I have a choice.
Nope,
You don't.
no choice.
You've said it. You've said it on the internet,
It's
and now it's there.
It's a willow oak trust ring.
A willow. Oak
I don't know why I
trust
said that.
ring. All right, we've got some more live questions coming in. So. Kimberly asked, I have rhododendrons that have been planted in partial shade, but have never bloomed. It is very healthy and green. What am I doing wrong? Welcome to the rhododendron in this area club.
Well, it could be a pH thing. It could be a nutrient deficiency. You know, maybe you want to put some flower tone on them. You know, maybe.
But
You
you're
know.
right about pH, I think is a good
Yeah,
word too.
and the thing is about rhododendrons, they set their buds the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
now.
yeah, right now is when they're setting their buds. So,
And also too, rhododendron, you had one.
I was about to say,
Go
I
ahead.
had 3 sit with buds on them for 4 years.
before they bloomed.
With the buds that stayed just like that. They didn't really grow. I got a few new leaves, and then one spring they exploded and then they died.
Oh, great.
Talk about holding their breath.
Wow.
But they're just
Yeah, it was
they're just
crazy.
they're notoriously
quite a show, though.
They're notoriously slow.
Yes.
Like just slow to move in a lot of directions, you know, like slow to take, slow to root, slow to grow, like all of that. So just be patient with your roadies. If they're clean, green, healthy, looking good, like you're doing right. You're not doing wrong.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to wait it out sometimes.
Yeah.
And in horticulture and in nature, things sometimes take a while.
Yeah.
Be
they're
patient.
slow. I've got some that are doing great, and they kind of bloom sporadically right now because they're a little immature. They're not really big. I feel like they're newly planted for rhododendrons. They've been in these spots for 3 years now. But I finally got a lot of leaf growth on them this year, so they're very happy.
Nice.
And then we got a question from Candy that says, I have real grass destroying my monkey grass. Do I just start over?
Probably. I'm guessing it's Bermuda grass is what I would guess.
Evil
Probably.
grass.
Evil
Yeah.
grass, yes.
So
Real evil.
that can be quite difficult to get rid of, especially in a stand of monkey grass. So I mean, it may be a matter of a combination of things like pulling what you can see, and in the wintertime when you cut back the monkey grass, it'll be a little easier to get in there and pull stuff out.
It's a tricky battle, I think, is what we're getting to.
Yeah, and it will take a while. You'll have to keep doing it until finally those rhizomes have lost all the energy they have in them to, keep going. So
Yeah.
It's a question of which loses the energy first, the rhizomes or you.
Or you.
exactly.
Great
Yeah.
point.
That is a
point.
great
Bermuda
point.
grass is very resilient, so
Yes.
it'll hang in there for quite a long time.
yes.
Keeps going. And then someone asked, when is the best time to come to Bates to pick out dogwoods and other small ornamentals so that I can shop your best selection?
Definitely not
evening.
3:30. We close at 4.
Yeah. That's a really good question, actually. I mean, mid-September to late
Yeah.
September is when we really
Yeah.
get a ton of trees in, especially
Yeah.
dogwoods, redbuds, maples, all those good things. And our tree trucks are heavy, y'all. I mean, they are full semi-loads of trees. It is no joke. So, yeah, mid-September,
Yeah.
I'd say,
Yeah, I would
is probably
say.
the best time to
Yep.
shop our best selection of trees.
Best time to come on down.
And we've got the spots reserved for them on the tree lot, and they'll be forthcoming here
Pretty
in the
soon.
near future.
Pretty soon.
Well, that was a quick hour.
It was. It was.
Quick and fun.
Caroline and Austin, thank you all for participating today and help keep this gardening thing going along. We want to again invite you to come out and see us at Bates Nursery Garden Center. We're opening in 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds from now. So come on out and see us. Again, 25% off all plants and bagged Earth Mix garden products for Bates Rewards members, and you know who you are. And it's worth what you pay for it because it's free. So check it out. Come out and see us, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Thanks again for tuning in this week, and we hope you'll tune in again next week when we'll be talking more gardening inside out.